Or if we've lost connection there, I'll go ahead. Welcome to the first event in the FScN Showcase 2020. We're really excited that you're here. My name is Therese Liffrig, and I'm the coordinator of the event for today and tomorrow. The whole reason that the university exists is to serve students, so it makes perfect sense that we kick off our event with student sessions first. Maha Tahiri will lead the discussion with a group of Student Advisory Committee students first, and then we'll have undergraduate student groups up after that, being led by, facilitated by Robin Perez. So Maha, could you and your group step in?
Yep. I think I was muted. Thank you very much, Therese, and thank you so much for the draconian work that you've been doing to put this event together. So we're here, thanks to you and to the team that has done tremendous work. I am honored to be actually the one moderating the session with the students, and especially with the Scientific Advisory Committee that I had the pleasure to work with over the last few weeks. And so let's start with, for those who don't know actually what the Scientific Advisory Committee, can you please explain how the Student Advisory Committee was formed and why?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Lauren Avalos, and I'm a member of the Student Advisory Committee. And the Food Science and Nutrition Student Advisory Committee was established in 2019. And this committee serves to unite the undergraduate and graduate students, faculty, and alumni of the food science and nutrition community. We advocate for all food science and nutrition students to faculty, staff, and administration, and work to help strengthen food science and nutrition education provided by the department. So in other words, the Student Advisory Committee is here to be the megaphone. We take feedback from students during listening sessions, then consolidate them into themes that need to be shared, and then we can amplify those voices of the students in the department to make sure people who need to hear what they're saying hear it.
Great. And so, if you were to give us a perspective on what were your major achievements as a committee, what would that be?
So this committee has only been around for about a year. And so in fall of 2019, the Student Advisory Committee organized a trick-or-treating event with students and professors in the Food Science and Nutrition Department. And in the past year, we've had really good student engagement, especially when in person. Our listening lunches generally drew in about 30 plus attendees, both graduate, undergraduate, nutrition, and food science students. And then, as you may have noticed, there has been a summary department newsletter coming out from Yob and Sarah Cannon and Andrew Howe since the start of this COVID pandemic. And that was a recommendation that came from the Student Advisory Committee to help distill information during the times where we were just getting so many emails about what was happening.
And so these were like your achievements over the last year, but overall, what would be your major goals and objectives?
A lot of our major goals, actively seeking issues and feedbacks from students within the department. And then we actively amplify those voices to those who can enact change. And then another one is we have really strong student commitment to our communication. So we typically have a lot of students that are engaged in the departmental change, and we like to highlight the work of professors and staff that are doing an outstanding example of their teaching and instruction.
I remember in our conversations there were clear outcomes that you were aiming at. To truly all your work was really aiming at improving academic achievements, etc. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that was in your mission.
Right, a lot of that was. Can you repeat the question one more time, please?
I think in your mission there was something around like you were doing all of this improving, like being the megaphone and facilitating, etc., with really a clear objective of improving the academic achievements.
Correct.
Great. So this year probably has been a chaotic year for you, like it has been for everybody. Can you talk a little bit about some of your current projects?
Yeah, so we are aware of the current situation. So we pay attention to about the transition in how education is being conducted now. And also we are trying to recognize the faculty that are doing an exceptional job with the transition. Also, we highlight the student concern with the department head to encourage them to utilize best practices in online teaching. And we appreciate the feedback that we got from the recent survey. So here we want to highlight feedback. So from one of the undergrad, so he or she wrote that the professors and students seem to be bonding better through their mutual struggles as opposed to the students struggling alone. In all honesty, though, the effort put forth by most of the professors has been great. And we appreciate all your feedback and also hope in the future we can get more feedback from, every survey from SAC. Yeah.
So are there things that are not working well?
Excuse me, could you repeat your questions? Yeah, I'm not understanding.
But maybe we will see that if we talk about the other side. Are there some best practices?
Yes, there are some best practices. We did send out a survey and got a lot of really great feedback back from that survey. So some of the best practices that we've noticed is that there are a lot of faculty and professors trying to maximize student learning outcomes. So for example, we got some feedback on Amy Tritt and Kathleen Hill-Gallant, two really great professors trying to maximize those learning outcomes, and they do this by using polls to engage student understanding. They use whiteboard functions in breakout rooms effectively in Zoom classes, and just try to really create a community feel when everyone feels so distant online. Another thing that we've heard that professors have been doing have been staying on Zoom for like 5 to 10 minutes after each class to help any students that might have questions. And we've also heard from Sarah Cannon, we got some good things from Sarah Cannon, that she's shifting to recording lectures online to eliminate students in different time zones. So she's working with those students that have to log in on reasonable hours and creating flexibility in delivery of those Zoom lectures.
Yeah, so you would like actually to see more consistency of these best practices actually applied over all over the campus, or at least all over the department?
Yeah, we got a lot of really good feedback from certain professors, but obviously that's not happening throughout. So that would be really great to be able to, make these best practices more standardized.
Yeah. And do you have at least consistency in the fact that online teaching is an option everywhere?
Yeah, I know that some classes have made it more apparent than others that there's an option for online teaching, and some haven't. So I think some of the best practices would include having that more apparent that an online option is available.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, I do have actually a last question that would maybe encompass all of that. So what suggestion have you heard from students to facilitate learning?
Yeah, so from our survey, some of the few themes that we've pulled out of that were just clarifying expectations for online learning. So if students need to have their cameras on, make sure that they know beforehand and they know why they need to have their camera on. Also just consistency throughout the online learning experience. So kind of like what Anna talked about, making sure that we implement some of those best practices, and, you know, teachers are using the polls and the whiteboards, and also staying after class to answer questions if they can, and using Canvas consistently as well, and making sure that the Canvas and their online teaching lectures are flowing well together. And also, as Anna mentioned, being compliant with the UMN policy of having an online option, and making sure that that's well known to students, especially for students who physically can't be in class or are uncomfortable being in class.
Great. These are very, very actually actionable actionable items that could be actually put in place very quickly. How would you have any suggestion on how you could actually accelerate the implementation of these suggestions?
One thing we talked about was having either like a document or a video that is kind of like a tutorial on how our faculty members can use Zoom to the best of their ability, and make sure that they utilize a lot of those different options that they have on Zoom. And also maybe something with Canvas as well, making sure that faculty know every option that's available to them, so they can use those for students. So yeah, just kind of compiling all that information in one area that's easy to access, so faculty can reference it whenever they need to.
Well, I'm gonna just throw it there, and this is just it's for you to think about. Maybe this could be one of the actions could be for you to have a group of 3 students from the SAC and maybe 3 teachers, and really work on over the last month to try to see if it can be solved or implemented, what you have suggested quickly, so that, because some of what you suggested is not, it's really not difficult to implement. So maybe this is an opportunity to have a small group really working and focusing on this over the next few weeks. So, well, I'm just throwing that there, and
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Maha, for leading us through that. And thank you, students in the Student Advisory Committee, for putting that together, doing the survey and reporting out the results. Maha, in the chat, we've gotten a few requests for you to introduce yourself. I didn't do that at the outset. Could you just give us a couple words about who you are?
I am Maha Tahiri. I have a PhD in human nutrition, and then I worked for the food industry for 20 years, as most of the time as head of health and wellness, or head of nutrition and innovation. My last position was at General Mills, where I was leading the Better Institute of Health and Nutrition. And for the last year, I have been a consultant working at the intersection between nutrition and sustainability. And I'm also an adjunct professor at Tufts University. And soon, Minnesota, who knows?
Awesome. And Maha is on our FScN Advisory Council, and that is how she got tied in with this event. So we really appreciate her jumping right in. Thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure to work with you.
We'll transition right away over to the student groups panel this morning, which will be led by Robin Perez, who is an undergraduate student advisor for our department. And Robin, could you introduce your group?
Certainly. And please, I talk a little bit low, so if I need to speak up, just feel free to let me know. Good morning, everyone. My name is Robin Perez, Robin like the bird. I am an academic advisor for food science and nutrition students, as Therese just mentioned, and I am pleased to introduce our student group representatives, who will then speak to you about the awesome things that they do within their respective clubs for the department. So we have 3 student representatives. The first is Abby Mascia, I knew I was going to mess that up, Masciangelo, who will be talking about SON, which is the acronym for the Student Organization of Nutrition and Dietetic Students. We have also Gabriella Walker, who will talk about the vision and goals of the Student Ambassadors of Food, Health, and Culture. That's a group. And then finally, we have Laura Eckhart, who will talk about the Food, Science, and Nutrition Club. So with that, can we have Abby take the floor?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Abby. I am a graduate student in the +1 year of the 4+1 integrated BS MS nutrition degree. I just want to make sure, can everyone hear me before I continue? Okay. And I am the vice president of SOND. I'm so excited to be with all of you, to be able to represent the Student Organization of Nutrition and Dietetics, as Robin just introduced. So SOND brings together nutrition students from the 3 tracks in our major. So the DPD program, Nutrition Sciences and Nutrition Studies. We have members from freshman to senior to graduate students. The Student Organization of Nutrition and Dietetics, some of our goals. We strive to involve and engage our students not only in our student organization, but also in the Food Science and Nutrition Department and community, as well as the local community. We want to encourage professional development among our members by providing valuable opportunities in this multifaceted field of nutrition. We also hope to be a voice and a source of knowledge that promotes awareness about the importance of nutrition throughout the university and throughout campus. So some of the things that SON does is we host monthly meetings with professionals from different backgrounds in nutrition. In the past, we've heard from sports, registered dietitians, clinical dietitians, startup dietitians, kind of out of the box careers that are more unique in dietetics, as well as WIC dietitians. We volunteer in the community and we host events and activities throughout the year for our members. So this year, SON has a really, really strong team of officers. I'm really excited to be working with everyone. And we also created a new position in the SOND officer team that is research and outreach. So in this role, they will help to build connections with our nutrition professionals that we meet with throughout the department and also throughout our other student groups within the department. We also wanted to involve the academy and also MAND, which is the Minnesota Academy. So we thought this would be a really great role, and then also to have more of a presence for our social media platforms. So that's our new position. And then our plans for this year being modified because we are now virtual. We are going to be definitely building and increasing our social media presence, as I just mentioned. We are encouraging meeting attendance by offering giveaways and being entered into giveaways for when you've participated in the meeting. We're going to be continuing to volunteer. Hopefully we'll have a volunteer opportunity in the month of October. Organizations are still heavily relying on volunteers, and especially during these circumstances, are in need. So we're really excited to be able to help out in the community. And then we are also going to be planning virtual activities, hopefully, and get-togethers that will also engage our students and create more of a community within the department. So that's all I had about SOND. Is there any questions?
I think we'll kind of leave the questions for after everyone's spoken, but
Okay.
that's amazing. And thanks so very much. And I hope I didn't mangle your name too much.
No, that's okay.
All right, Gabriella. Oh my gosh. I think you're going to be up next. So if you can kind of share about the vision and goals for your group.
Hi, my name is Gabriella, and I am an undergrad student in nutrition. And this is my senior year, so I'm really excited for that. So I am the president for the Student Ambassadors of Food, Health, and Culture. And I am also accompanied with Alyssa here. And so unfortunately with COVID, we won't be having any in-person meetings or events, but hopefully we can make the most of it this semester through Zoom. And we might be hosting some food demos, education demos, and maybe some panels or discussions. And so basically our club is about building community and improving student experiences and embodying and creating a space where we can embody food, health, and culture. So this year we will be focusing more with the Gatherings Cafe, which is a small restaurant that hosts and serves indigenous cuisine. And it is also really close to school, located, I think, close to West Bank in Minneapolis. But so with that, our goal is to enhance student experiences with indigenous culture and food of Minnesota. And this will also meet our goal of becoming more culturally competent and healthy people. And so our second goal is to also improve student well-being when it comes to local food and native food to our environment. So that will also hopefully help sustainability efforts as well. And then lastly, we want to connect the students through our cultures, health, and food within our department while collaborating with others to help share and build community.
Okay. Thanks so very much, Gabriella. All right, and Laura, I think we will kind of tie everything up with the events and the things that happen in the Food Science and Nutrition Club.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura Eckhart, and I am a grad student here in the Department in Food Science. And the Vice President of the Food Science and Nutrition Club. So the Food Science and Nutrition Club is our local student chapter from the Institute of Food Technologists. And we have really three main things that we try and do for student members. And they can be grouped into social, professional, and then service events. So on the social side, what our club strives to do is create a sense of community among students, and especially combining food science and nutrition students, since we do try to serve both. On the professional side, we do a lot with connecting students to industry so they can learn about potential internship opportunities, future career opportunities, start making some of those connections with employers. We also encourage student participation in competitions. So for example, product development competitions where groups will put together, come up with a new product for whether that's for one of the IFT competitions or some of the other competitions out there. We also in the past support dairy judging, and then we have a College Bowl team, which if you're not familiar with College Bowl, it's a food science trivia type competition that historically we've done pretty well at. We also try and fuel students' passion for food through bringing in different speakers or just talking about different food-related topics, just to enhance their studies beyond the classroom. One of the things we're going to try and focus on a little bit more this year too is bringing an interdisciplinary aspect to it, because we all love food and we're very much in the food science and the nutrition part of it, but could we bring in food business? Could we bring in some sort of biotech element of it just to expand our members' exposure to different food-related fields as well? And then the last area we do serve as well, giving students the opportunities to connect with food-related issues in the broader community, and also encourage our students to be involved with the Minnesota section of IFT and other professional organizations. Sometimes they need volunteers to help out with events, and so we encourage our members to get involved with that. One of the things that we're most proud of is actually last year's club won Chapter of the Year award from the Institute of Food Technologists, which is huge. And that really spoke to the hard work the officers did last year on bringing a mix of exciting and engaging and really enriching experience to our students. So last year, some of the things that we've done, where we did a brewing tour at Surly, we did info sessions with General Mills and Agripure and Cargill. We would always do bake sale fundraisers to host, to help support our competition teams financially. We had a panel come talk about food waste, did field trips to companies such as Superior Fresh. We did a joint event with Sond on sports nutrition. So a lot of great things that happened last year and a lot of great things we're planning for this year, just trying to adapt with COVID. Since we do have, with everyone else, we have to do things virtually. We've been really brainstorming on how to keep bringing that to our members. We're able to do things like having the companies speak to our members very easily. So we've kicked off the year already with General Mills and Agripure coming to talk. And actually Maggie Kuback from the Career Center, she spoke with our members on how to prepare for a virtual career fair. So we've already been able to provide a lot of engaging virtual content and are looking forward to continue being creative on how we can adapt to this COVID environment.
Okay, very good. So I guess we have about a couple of minutes left. So if each one of you can speak to how, if students are interested in getting involved in your club, how they could go about getting in touch with, you, and what that application process might look like, if it's, any application process at all. So Laura?
Certainly, I can go first. We have a pretty robust and pretty active Facebook group on Facebook. So that's the University of Minnesota Food Science and Nutrition Club. And then also reaching out via email, fscnclub@umn.edu. That's a great way to get in touch. There's no application process. We welcome students and would just be happy to connect with you and add you to our email list so you know what's coming up.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And Gabriella, how can students get involved with your group?
Yeah, so you could email me personally. I will put my email down below, but we also do have a Facebook page and an Instagram page as well, so you can reach out through there. And then for the application process, there is no application process, but we do have general members, and then we also have ambassadors that actually do more of the event planning and idea building. So yeah.
Okay, thanks. And Abby.
Yes, okay, so we also don't have a formal application process. If you're interested in our club, during our kickoff meeting, we provided our president's email address to get onto our mailing list, and that's how we mostly communicate with our members is through email. So I will put Jacob Larson's email in the chat. We've also been introducing Sond in some of the classrooms so that students can get on the mailing list as well through that way. Otherwise, yes, we have Instagram is our main social media presence right now that you could message us through.
Awesome. Okay, so there's many ways to get in touch with the representatives of these clubs here, and I will put my email address down in the chat as well if there's any other questions that you may want to direct to me. And with that, I think I will turn this back over to Therese.
All right, thank you so much to all of the students and to our moderators this morning. It's really impressive to see how many ways you found to stay active and involved in creative ways, even though we can't be together. I know we all miss being on campus. I miss seeing you all on campus and seeing what you're doing, but thank you so much for sharing so that we know what you're doing. I'll turn it over to Job, the department head for food science and nutrition, who also wants to say a few words.
To Joop. No, good morning. I must say I'm really impressed. I must say thanks very much for all of you moderating this session and presenting. But I'm very impressed by the students clubs in our department and level of engagement of our students in the whole variety of activities in the department. The Student Advisory Council already mentioned an example, but I see many other things, and I think it really signifies, the motivation and the engagement of our students. And I must say that sets the future for food science and nutrition. The future is ensured and well taken care of if the next generation of professionals, are really already engaging at that very high level. So it's one of the very, very positive things in our department to have that very active student body. So really please keep things going even in these very difficult times, and it makes us a better community. So thank you very, very much all for all these activities, all that engagement.